Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
And we serve as the voice to the Tubal Black community.
Again, we got Dr. Candace Matthews.
A lot of these documents, looking at.
We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media.
This country is supposed to be about the land of the free for all. It has not been free for Black people, and we are tired.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
And this is why we say we don't need foreign troops on our land. This is exactly why we do not agree with our government when they are allowing foreign troops to set up camp, to build their base in African countries. This is one of the reasons, actually. There are many reasons, but one of them is the fact that these soldiers, these troops are not being held accountable. No one is checking them out. No one is taking them to court. Even when they're being taken to court, we're about to discuss that right now. Nothing happens. Even when there are witnesses, justice is not being served. The locals are the ones that are suffering because of this. According to the BBC, a landmark public inquiry into allegations of human rights violations by British troops in Kenya has been hearing a heartbreaking testimony from those who say they were mistreated. Dozens of people have this week given evidence to the parliamentary inquiry into the alleged misconduct of soldiers from the British Army Training Unit, Kenya. Among them are the family of a young woman allegedly disabled in a hit and run by a British Army truck, a mother who says she was abandoned when pregnant, and a man who was attacked by a lion in the wake of fire allegedly started on an army training exercise. And these are just a few people of all those that have been hurt because this British Army base is in Kenya. We've covered many more stories, like the young lady that was unalived. Her life was cut short in her early 20s because a British soldier unalived her, and his teammates, his colleagues, came out and actually reported it and said that he showed them her body. Nothing has happened till this date. I believe it's been 12 years. Nothing has happened. No justice has been served. I'll remind you, I'll show you the clip after this. Secondly, we talked about the fire the British Army started in Kenya, where a British soldier was actually admitting it and nothing was done. Let me show you those two clips. 21-year-old Kenyan woman named Agnes Wanjiru that was unalived by a British soldier in Kenya still hasn't gotten justice, even though his own peers, by him I mean the British soldier that unalived her, his own friends in the army came out and talked about it, that he showed them her body after he unalived her, and she still hasn't gotten justice, even though this happened in 2012.
For 9 years now, the family of Agnes Wanjiru in Laikipia County has been on a long search for justice until one military officer confessed to Sunday Times, a daily issue in England, that the accused told him that he killed her.
I were in the pub and he come in crying, saying, "Help me, help me." I said, "Why? What do you mean? I've killed her." "What do you mean you've killed her? Show me."
In his narration, he says after the confession, he was led to a septic tank where Wanjiru's body that was now floating.
What did you see?
I just remember her. She was in the tank when I seen her. He took me to the tank and lifted it up, and I looked in, and I just remember seeing her in there, and my heart sank, and I just said, "I'll never forgive you for this, never." Then the RMP have turned up and arrested us all because we weren't supposed to be there.
The murder occurred in one of the hotels located about 10 minutes drive from the British training camp. In quick succession of events that night in Nanyuki, the matter was muted with top military bosses in Nanyuki British camp seemingly sweeping the matter under. Following the shocking confession, the British High Commissioner Jane Marriott stated, and I quote, "I share the concern about the tragic death of Agnes Wanjiru in 2012. My thoughts are with her family and the community. I can assure Kenyans that the UK is fully cooperating with the investigation and will help in any way we can," she said in her statement. Kenyan authorities are yet to comment on the shocking revelations, whose inquest was closed in 2019. The British High Commission now says it will support the Kenyan police investigations. Senior military chiefs from Britain are also scheduled to visit Kenya next month. The British High Commission says the military chiefs will visit the British Army Nanyuki training base for, among other things, a report on the progress of the Wanjiru's murder case.
Today's story is about a British soldier that exposed what the British military troops are doing in Kenya. He just posted on his Snap account. 2 months in Kenya later, and we've only got 8 days left. It's been good. Caused a fire, killed an elephant, and feel terrible about it. But hey yo, when in Rome. After he made that post, Kenyans online went crazy. And can you blame them? We knew the fire was going on, but we didn't know it was the British troops that started it, which killed 5 elephants. And after he posted this, the British commissioner, the High Commissioner in Kenya, apologized. She even gave an interview to Citizen TV.
That's right, yes. So there's a fire raging in the Loldagus region at the moment. It's been going for a couple of days now. You've got quite tough conditions up there. So you've got high winds, you've got grass that is super dry, and you've got the rains that are late. So if you're a fire, those are perfect conditions to spread rapidly in. So the fire, as I say, has been going on for a couple of days now. So the cause of the fire was part of a British training exercise up there. So as you know, British and Kenyan forces regularly exercise up together in that area. It was an accidental fire that was started, and the army has scrambled very, very quickly up there to dig trenches, fire breaks to try and contain the fire. We've had three helicopters and a crop duster that has been putting water on from above, and 4 fire trucks putting water on from below. So, you know, this is obviously absolutely devastating, and we're doing all we can to get the fire under control. So it certainly would not be set on fire deliberately. So our working assumption is that it is probably an accident, but there will be a full investigation, absolutely.
Okay. And from a PR perspective, I want to read a headline from a UK daily this morning. I don't know what you think about their level of journalism, but they go with the title, "Bungling British Troops Spark 10,000-acre Wildfire on a Nature Reserve in Kenya."
Yeah.
This looks bad, Madam High Commission, doesn't it?
Well, obviously, you won't be surprised to know that I'm a very big fan of British troops. I think they do a great job. Certainly, they've got a great relationship with the Kenyan troops with whom they exercise together. There's 5.3 billion shillings that has gone into the local economy up there as a result of having the British military base there. And these things, accidents, which we think it is, but as we say, we'll do a full investigation, do happen. So it's not great, and we're really sorry, and we really wish it hadn't happened, and we're doing everything we can to mitigate those circumstances and put in place measures to ensure it never happens again. So I haven't seen any confirmed reports of another fire. But fires do happen. It's very volatile conditions up there, as I said, with the high winds, tinderbox, combustible grass at the moment, and the rains are late, so not great conditions. I've seen that Snapchat account, and I'm utterly appalled. I think that is outrageous, and I'm very disappointed that a British soldier would post that. It is being investigated. So the way forward now is it will be an internal British military investigation. We have something called the Royal Military Police, whose job is to make sure that our troops behave well, and if they don't, they will be tried appropriately.
Okay, finally, do we know if any animals have lost their lives because of these fires? We've heard reports of 5 elephants, including a calf, have reportedly been killed in these fires.
So we don't know at this stage. It's too early. I have to say I would be surprised if some wildlife hasn't lost their lives on the back of this, because it's been quite a large area. And obviously we're devastated by any negative impact on the local economy, on the local wildlife. But we need to wait for the fire to be put out before that can be investigated. So there are reports, but no confirmations yet of elephants or anything else being killed.
Okay, and as we wrap this up, so what's happening now with the British training program there? Has it been put on hold? For how long? What's happening currently?
So the training has been put on hold because all of the 350 soldiers are currently busily fighting this fire. And then we will need to review the situation once the fire is out and see when training together with our Kenyan partners can recommence.
Okay. You haven't had reports of when the fire could be out. Any predictions on their end from what
I think the winds are too high, the grass is too dry at the moment to make any predictions with certainty, but literally everything on the waterfront is being thrown at it, and diggers are being used to create fire breaks to minimise the spreading any further of that fire.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add on this?
Touched on? I mean, just to say that we're utterly devastated that this has happened. As I say, I think it seems like an accident, but there will be a full investigation, and we're taking it very seriously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any other questions, sir? Anything I can add? No. Madam?
I think you've interrogated me quite well there.
And she apologized for it, and she says she feels terrible about it, and they're doing an investigation. But if this British soldier didn't expose it, didn't post about it, foolishly I might add, would they have admitted that they're the ones that started the fire? And now more allegations are coming out, like the girl that is claiming that she has been hit by their truck and they left her. They didn't even help her. There's a lady that got pregnant by one of the soldiers and he left her. And there's this man that got attacked by a lion because of the chaos that fire created. When that fire went off, it displaced so many Kenyans and so many wildlife. It's insane that these people are not being held accountable. Their government is not being held accountable. How can they make things better and be apologetic when we're not even holding them accountable and they're not paying for it? There's no consequence. So why should they accept, or why should they change, and why should they respect us? This is very, very sad. And I hope that these victims that have come forward get justice, unlike the rest that we've covered and nothing has happened for them. Anyways, fam, let us know down below what your thoughts are about this story. I am Wongel Zelalem. I'll see you